CDC&C have travelled to Cannock today to the HQ of Hainbuch UK. I'm joined by Nick Peter. Now, Nick, today we're going to be looking a little bit closer at some of the work holding solutions that you offer. In my opinion, probably one of the most innovative work holding solutions in the world. Now, we're going to look at the Manic. Tell us about this particular solution.
This is a stationary work holding device that you can use on a test bench or a measuring machine, 5-axis machine, milling machine, any stationary application you can use our collet system on. The system's already well known on CNC lathes, turning machines, things like that. So you've got a cupboard full of collets. You can easily use those collets now on the same chuck used in a stationary application.
So, Nick, I agree with you. A lot of people associate Hainbuch with just turning applications. So are you telling me that the only kind of parts that you can hold on a milling machine are round parts?
Not at all. I mean, you can hold profiles of really quite weird and wonderful shapes, squares, hexagons, triangles, any sort of weird profile completely. Also, the capacity is not limited by the chuck itself. You can easily get a large billet and actually pre-turn a diameter on the back, clamp that, and then use this in a true 5-axis situation.
So you're telling us there, Nick, that the pre-op on a 5-axis machine, you could go up to quite large billets and then just simply prep it on the lathe with an Hainbuch collet chuck, and then the transfer can be made onto a 5-axis machine.
Absolutely, and just take it and up to 65mm on this particular one, but there's bigger chucks, the smaller chucks, exactly the same.
So the diameter has got a maximum capacity of 65mm, but the actual billet size is not limited to that.
That's not limited at all, really. It can be as big as you like. As long as it's capable of holding the boss on the back, then the billet can be as big as you like.
Most people would associate a 5-axis application with a centric gripper, but you could actually use this Manic collet chuck on a 5-axis machine. In your opinion, what would be the advantages of that?
Well, you've actually got quite a good clearance around it for a start, but also the clamping pressure on these collet chucks is quite immense, really. So you get the ability to hit it very, very hard with a milling machine or a cutter or whatever you want to do. Also, the vibration is reduced considerably, so your cutter life is a lot longer.
It's quite low profile as well,
Yeah,
so you're you're really making the most of the machine envelope. Yeah. When you're talking about clamping forces, Nick, you've also got a little mechanism here to test the clamping forces. Now, this is something that is unique as well to Hainbuch.
This particular one, this is brand new. This is a Bluetooth device which allows us to test clamping pressures either rotationally or static, so we can always go back to the same place. We know exactly what clamping forces are actually on any part at any given time. And
give us an example of why you would use this.
Well, for instance, if you've got a thin wall part, you need to know exactly what clamping pressure can hold it without it distorting. That's the sort of thing you'd use it for. You can then go back to that pressure at any stage, at any time. If you get blunt tools or somebody alters pressures, you know exactly where that is. But it's a good health and safety feature anyway. You can print reports out and make sure that you know something's being held properly.
Perfect product to create a stable process. Now, we mentioned that it's a modular system, and it also incorporates the expanding mandrel. Can you just show our audience how easy it is to just simply load the expanding mandrel into the Manic?
Yeah, I mean, most people will be very familiar with our system on lathes. It's exactly the same. It uses the same collet system, the same adaptions. The only thing that's different in the 5-axis situation or stationary situation is the Manic chuck itself. So we can take the collet and change it very easily, put it in and change it, take it out, and actually change it for internal work holding. So basically putting a collet chuck in, a mandrel, in, like that, simple as that, and change it over to clamp internally. So you've got a small boss, it's easy to do, or a large billet.
So the flexibility and the modular aspects of your system seem to be endless. We're at Hainbuch UK. To find out more, contact them and to see if they can help with some of the solutions and projects you might be working on. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks for that.